Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl KeKe's, and I'm back with my POV for the second season. Now, I appreciate y'all that rock with me through the first season and still tuned in during my hiatus. And see y'all. I appreciate y'all. Okay, just know that. Now, if you're already a subscriber and avid watcher, welcome back. Y'all know how we get down. I give you my honest opinion, raw. Okay, and I always open the floor for much needed discussion. Now, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe and smash that bell so you know when I'm coming with the next one. And just enjoy and engage in the show. All right, so today's title is Love Runs Deep. We get into the topic of men loving deeper than women. We're paying tribute to the incomparable Miss Cicely Tyson. And you know I got to bring out today's, hashtag today's sicko, because I made a pledge to bring awareness to save our children. And it's another end of battle. So I'm doing my part by bringing in awareness. Now we're going to jump right in and we're going to get it all done while the baby sleeps. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get comfortable. Okay. So my question for today is, do men love deeper than women? Now, I ran across a thread on Black Twitter, and a woman was basically laying out her reasoning and her interpretation of how and why men love deeper than women. So I had to ask a few of my friends, because, my guy friends, because I was like, man, maybe this girl don't know what she's talking about. But as I read it, some of the points that she made didn't make sense. So I'm not really going to get into the whole entire thread, but I'm just going to touch on a few points. And y'all let me know in the live chat, in the comments, if y'all agree or disagree. So I'm going to go through everything that all the points she said. I'm just going to go back and touch on it all. All right, so basically she says that women base their love mostly off emotions, like how a man makes her feel in romance, while men don't base their love off the way a woman makes them feel, and that they don't allow romance to dictate their decision on who becomes their woman. All right, so honestly, I'm probably one that always thought love was a feeling, until I realized that love is an action, because you can feel love for someone, okay, and they could do you dirty, and you still feel love for someone. That person could be like, I love you, but it's like they could do some foul stuff to you and still say they love you. So it's like, you tell me you love me with your words, and you might feel like you love me, but your actions speak different. And you know how they say actions speak louder than words. So basically, you can show someone whether or not you truly love them. Words don't really mean too much to me. So I had to learn that the hard way. So that's how now for me, I feel like love is an action, not a feeling. You know what I'm saying? So she goes on to say that women often mistake romance for love, and that they misinterpret the perks of companionship with love. Now, what are the perks of companionship? She says that's date nights, vacations, trips. So basically, she's like, listen, y'all think because the man is whining and dining y'all, that means he love you, or that means he trying to spend his life with you, when really he could just be trying to spend his night with you, which is true. I mean, look at how many of these rappers sit here and fly out all these girls, and they be sitting there buying them bags and all this other stuff, and they be looking crazy in the media, or they just be like a little one night thing or 1 week thing, and they don't make it anywhere. So you can't really be sitting here like, oh, well, if he took me on a vacation, he took me on a trip, he took me on a date, that really doesn't mean anything if it doesn't go deeper than that. So with that, when she says that, I agree. I absolutely agree, because you can't build love on that type of foundation until you get past that, because at this point now that's like the little honeymoon stage, the materialistic things. But what's underneath all that? Because you cannot sit here and try to build love on top of a foundation of materialistic that's going to disappear, that's going to go away, that's not going to last forever. Now, if you build your love on a foundation of like principles and like real life stuff, sorry, about to cuss, then I feel like that's something that'll last. But like she said, you have to get past the companionship stage. So I get that. She says that women are expressive and emotional, and that anything that sways our emotions will win our heart. Now, I think that as women, we are emotional creatures, yes. But I don't think that anything that sways our emotions will win our heart. I think that we're sensitive to a lot of things, yes. and we show, you know, empathy and compassion for a lot of things. But I like when she says that, I feel like it makes it seem like mad women are naive. Now there might be some women out here that anything that sways their emotions or win their little hearts, but then there's other ones out here that, you know, we use our brains and our hearts at the same time. We're not just sitting here like going straight based off emotions. She basically says that women live in a delusion of what they think love is and what it feels like. Now, I get that. Oh, and that they physically try to create that love. So I get that. It's like, okay, you either grow up being taught what love is, or just watching, you know what I'm saying? Because kids are like sponges. So as you get older, you see and stuff, and you see like, okay, well, this person loves this person, they did this for them, okay, or this is how this person treated them and they love them, or they say they love them. And I feel like people do, and I don't feel like it's just women. I feel like it's people. As you grow and you're trying to figure out what love is, and you're being taught, and you're seeing all the types of things around you, that you do create your own theory or your own ideal of love and try to recreate that. But I feel like that's why a lot of cycles recur. So it's like, if your parents was in a tumultuous relationship or whatever the case may be, and there was an abusive relationship and things like that, and you grow up and your significant other, you end up in that same type of situation because you look for what you had growing up, or that's what like. If you were in that type of situation, it's like basically like, this is my parents loved each other, and that's how they showed each other love. So then when you get into a relationship, you think that it's okay for someone to treat you like that, or for you to treat someone in that manner. So I do feel like people create their own ideals of love, but depending on how they were taught, what they were taught, or whatever they've been through in the mix of all of that, that's what they go to recreate in the relationship that they try to end up in. I get it when she says like females like do the, you know, I'll make them change, I could change them, I'm special type thing, or whatever. Like, what basically what she says, that they try to recreate love, and I feel like they choose a target and they try to create the fairy tale. I do believe that. Okay, I feel like women will sit here and they can see a guy that they see potential in, or they can see themselves with, and ignore the red flags. And they're just like, well, you know, I'm different than everybody else he had before. I could change him. I could make him change. I'm special, so it's going to be different with us this time around. Even though the man got a track record of just running around, just breaking every heart, running around, just laying everybody down, or running around and making babies with everybody. But you got the people that sit here and think that they can change or fix someone. So I get that they try to force it, even if it's not there. It's like, listen, I got my target is locked, and this is what it's gonna be. I'm gonna make this happen regardless. And sometimes people stick around and they try to make it happen, and they break themselves, they lose themselves trying to fix an individual or create this perfect individual that they had in their head, and they end up destroying themselves. Where she says men will go with the flow and see if love will happen organically, and that they don't force it. I kind of agree. Because I feel like men know their own intentions. Like, I do know when he's like, listen, I'm just trying to smash shorty. I do know when he's like, I'm trying to see what shorty about. Or do know like, I know that I'm about to make this girl my wife. Like, I feel like dudes know what it is that they want when they approaching someone, or if they don't know what they want exactly at that time, they figure it out, and they're not gonna be. I feel like they're not gonna just come out like, oh yeah, I think I'm this, unless it gets to a point where they feel like it's time to open up and be like, okay, this is how I'm feeling, because they feel like it's going further than just the little smash or dash or whatever the case may be. So I do feel like they will let it happen organically, that they don't want to force things. You know what I'm saying? I think when she says men are patient creatures, I think when it comes to things like that, men are patient creatures when they know what it is that they want. But a man is not gonna, you know what I'm saying, be a patient creature when he feels like he's being forced into something. Like when we lock our targets and we like, okay, this is what it's gonna be. And I feel like then it just becomes a game of cat and mouse. She said that if a man feels the woman he loves is in a relationship, he'll wait. And that he'll find ways to stick around and stay close. And he won't be threatened by the other man because his love runs deeper. Now, I don't know about all that. I can't, listen, I don't even be in a dating game like that to even be knowing if that's really the real deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see it in movies where, like, you know, the dude and the girl are like best friends, and she always picking some dude that don't deserve her, but he always around, he always there when she need him. If she in trouble, he come, and then eventually at the end of the movie, the guy gets the girl, and the little, you know what I'm saying, and those type of things. So, I mean, I've seen it on TV. I've never seen it in person. But, you know, I mean, I'm not saying it can't be true. I'm not saying it can't be a real life thing. It's just that I've never witnessed it. Because I don't know no man that's going to sit here and watch the one that he's like, that's my girl, that's going to be my wife, be with somebody else. But I could understand that that same dude will sit there and look out for her because he ain't gonna see her be her or see her be without, whatever the case may be. But I highly doubt that he gonna be this close where he can sit here and see everything that they doing. Now he might be a phone call away or a text away or something like that, but I don't think he just gonna be sticking by, like, just, you know what I'm saying, like that. She says that men want to be with love and women want to fall in love. Now, you know, sometimes I feel like we all want to have this little fairy tale life or whatever the case may be. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, swept off your feet, swept off your feet, swept off your feet, and, you know, you just want to just feel something and just, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. I get that. But then it's like, feelings fade, feelings change. You know what I'm saying? Like, from day to day. Like, our feelings don't stay the same. Like, one minute you happy, one minute you sad. One minute you could sit here and really like somebody, and next minute you're just like, I'm completely turned off. So, I understand what she means, which is like, men want to be with love and women want to fall in love. They want that feeling, but men want that real thing. Now, I'm just saying, like, I don't want to fall in love no more. Like, let me be with love. Like, let somebody that's gonna have like a proper foundation with me be with me, not just like, oh yeah, you made me feel so great, and then a year later you make me feel terrible. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I want something that's gonna have a foundation, that's gonna have longevity. So I feel like everybody wants to be with love, okay? I don't feel like everybody just wants to be in love. I think people want to be with love and in love. Like, can you have both, or is that like having your cake and eat it too? I don't know. But I kind of get what she means. Like men don't want to sit here and have their emotions played with by a whole bunch of people until they find the right one. Like, men don't want to open up their emotions until they know they can open up their emotions with that one that's going to reciprocate and do the right thing by them so they can do the right thing by her. So I understand that. I just feel like when you're with love, it's a different ballgame because reality kicks in and all the little fairy tales get crushed. You know what I'm saying? There was one last thing about this thread that I was looking at, and it was just like, hold on, let me grab my little notes because I don't have this written down. Or I have it written down, but I don't have it on my thing. They basically was like, he was with her for 10 years and just not married her. And she was like, well, maybe he just started to truly love her and everything that she carries. You can be together for the longest and be unsure of who you're with. Every day is a test. It's important to know the person you plan to spend your life with instead of conforming to social construct and public opinions. Now, that's a mix of what she put in my own thing, because I was just like, as I was reading, I was getting my own interpretation. So she basically said, like, sticking around for all that time is a woman's choice, which is true. It is. It's your choice. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, bro, there's 7 billion people in the world. There's plenty of options, okay? And if you felt like this person had a potential for you to be, for you to spend your life with them, and then it's not turning out how you want it, there's red flags, sis. There's things that you see, and you're, listen, I'm not gonna be able to spend the rest of my life with this going on. I'm not gonna be able to spend the rest of my life with this going on. So if you ignore the red flags and you decide to stay because you're like, I see the potential, eventually you're gonna have to realize when it's time to cut your losses. And if you don't, and you decide to spend a decade, then honestly, that's on you. Like, that's on me. Because I'm saying, hey, I was in the same situations. Like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, I see potential. This person could be a good person. This person got a good heart and all that good stuff. Okay, yes. But then you also got to look at the flaws. And you got to see, like, yo, can I really get past this? Can I get past somebody demeaning me, bringing me down, treating me bad, putting their hands on me? Like, you have to sit here and really weigh the pros and the cons. And if the bad outweighs the good, you're going to have to keep it pushing. And if you decide to stay for longer than you should, then that's on you. Because at some point, you got to know your worth. And if you feel like this is not worth you or your time, then you should kind of go ahead and hit the dip. Now, there's another thing that says both genders are, the last thing she wrote was, both genders are lacking understanding of what a foundation is, and Western culture bases level for feelings, when in reality, feelings change every day. And that's facts. Like, you see on TV all the time, people, when, like, in the movies and stuff like that, the fairy tales is always, I'm in love, and this, at the third, and the happily ever after. But they never show you what happens after all the little glitz and glam fade away. They never show you what happens when the tough times, you know what I'm saying, pop up, and how you're supposed to get through that type of stuff. So I really think that it's important to know that this right here, I was reading some of the comments, and she was basically saying, like, people in the comments, like, females in the comments were like, oh, this is a woman bashing thread. I don't like this at the third, and I get it. The thing is, I don't feel like this is broad spectrum. I don't feel like this is applies to every woman or every man. Okay, I do feel like there is a category of men and women that this thing does apply to, and a category of men and women that this doesn't apply to. And sadly, one thing she definitely got right for sure is that the way that the culture is nowadays is that they not pushing love and families and happily ever after. They pushing, like, oh, we don't need men. We can have babies in the lab. We don't need love. It's all about that bag. If you can't buy me Gucci or Louis, you can't have my time, and a bunch of other prostitution and stuff like that. And it's they not pushing like true love and what love is and what love should be, and that love is an action and that feelings change and things like that. They're not worried about that. They're not worried about feelings no more. They worried about, you know what I'm saying, just pushing their agenda, get the bag, and don't worry about no family. It's all about money. So I don't know, like, I was talking to some of my friends, and they was like, listen, like, marriage is biblical. It didn't really answer my question whether or not men love deeper than women, but they basically was telling me, like, yo, regarding this question, like, you gotta go to the Bible to get the answer. I said, respect. Another friend told me, was like, listen, men love based off logic. Okay, we don't let feelings sway our day-to-day type thing. It was like, listen, we gonna provide, we gonna make sure y'all good, and as long as we feel supported, we gonna, you know what I'm saying, like, that's just the thing. That's how men think. They think to be the provider and the caretakers and things like that. And then women are supposed to be, you know, the nurturers and things like that. Like, that's just the roles that have been placed upon us, and I get it. Granted, when I say stuff like that, or when people say stuff like that, they automatically like, oh, y'all trying to put us back in the 1950s and the olden times and things like that. And it's not even about that, because they're not saying that that's all you're supposed to do is just be the nurturer and this and that. It's literally like, you're supposed to be that in addition to whatever else that you're trying to be and what you're trying to do in this life. That's all I'm saying. But I don't know. I think that some women love deeper than men, and some men love deeper than women. I don't think that it's because it is just people in general, honestly. And I think it's the people that are not damaged love deeper and love the right way. The people that are damaged have to learn how to love in the first place, and in order to deepen their love. And that's just my take on it. So I don't feel like it should be like a gender against gender thing, because I don't think that's what it is. But I do think that nowadays, that the way things are set up, that a lot of females are becoming very superficial and conditional in love, because now it's more about material things and not really about like actual, you know what I'm saying, love and things like that. But you know what I'm saying, like, we got a lot of boss ladies out here nowadays. So it's not even more so like, oh, find you a ball player, find you a rapper so you could get whatever you want, because there's a lot of boss ladies out here that's getting to the bag that's probably making more than a lot of dudes. So honestly, I don't think it's on a gender basis. I think it's a person by person basis, a case by case basis, because you might find where a dude loves deeper than a woman. But then the problem with society nowadays is that when a dude is loving deeper than a woman, y'all calling this man a simp. And now they trying to be hardcore. Now the dudes that y'all was calling simps, they gonna sit here and switch it up because they ain't trying to have y'all play them. So you can't really say that. And then you could have the ones that like, okay, well, women are supposed to love deeper, or women are supposed to be this way, and they out here sitting here swinging like they acting like dudes. So honestly, I feel like that the roles have been reversed nowadays, and it really is by an individual basis where you could determine who's loving deeper than who, or if anybody's loving deeper, or if anybody even has a true definition or true meaning of love in what it is that they're trying to, you know, accomplish in a relationship type thing. I really can't. I don't know. That's just my opinion. My opinion is men, I don't think it's deeper than women. I think men have a more logical way of loving than women. There we go. That's my opinion. My point of view is men love more logically than women, but women love on a more emotional level. That's my point of view, and I'm sticking to it. So yes, she's right in a lot of different ways, and it's her opinion, so she can't really be wrong. That's just how she feels. But how I feel is that, like, men love logically, and I feel like when a man loves you, like, it's a real deep thing. Yes, but it doesn't mean that it's deeper than women. It's levels. It's levels. So how can you really sit here and put a scale on the depth of love? You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's an action. So, y'all know, January 28th, 2021, we lost a legend. Okay? I don't really want to say lost. I want to say we sent a legend home. You know what I'm saying? We had a homecoming for a legend. We're going to say that. So, born on December 19th, 1924, a lot of us weren't even thought about yet. Like, some of our parents and some of their parents weren't even thought about yet, okay? But a star was born, and I don't think she knew the impact that she would have on the lives that she touched. Miss Cicely Tyson had a career that spanned more than 7 decades. Like, bro, 70 years she was out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, she older than my grandma. My grandma not here anymore, but my grandma would have been like 69 this year. Like, her career is longer than my grandma's age. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was a West Indian girl born in East Harlem who grew to become an astronomical success in the black community. Okay? And the thing that I just really love about Miss Cicely Tyson is the fact that she refused to take the roles in those blaxploitation movies. Okay? She took roles that only portrayed strong black women. She didn't lower her standards, even if it meant she would go a long time without in between jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was literally a physical manifestation of classiness, humbleness, gracefulness, and she was ever God-fearing. Now, I remember her role as Rebecca Morgan in Sounder. We had to read that book for school, and I didn't really care about the book until I saw the movie. And it's just like, no matter what role she played, you know what I'm saying? Because I think there were sharecroppers in the Sounder movie. Every role she played was impactful. Like she, when she played a role, it was like she was that person. She embodied that character. Okay, I remember her role as Miss Jane Pittman. Miss Jane Pittman, the autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman was one of my favorite movies. And yo, I really thought Miss Jane Pittman was a real person the whole time. She wasn't. But Miss Cicely Tyson, she made Miss Jane Pittman real. Okay? Now I remember her in Idlewild, and that scene with her and Big Boy gave me chills. She was sitting in the car, and she was sitting in the car, and Big Boy walked up to her. I don't remember his name in the movie, but he walked up to her and he was like, man, why are you sitting here? And she was like, God told me to get in the car and drive with my kids, and then I pulled up in his woods. He told me to stop and cut the car off. And he's like, and then what? He told me to wait. So then he's like, well, what are you waiting for? And she was like, an angel. And she goes, God told me to stop here and wait for you. You're the angel that he sent. And then Big Boy gave her money, and then he gave her like, I think like $200. And then she went to give him her Bible, and he gave her a whole wad of cash. And then she told him, she goes, carry this Bible with you always. I think at the end of the movie, that Bible saved his life. But it's just like, the thing is that the embodiment of Miss Cicely Tyson shown through all her characters. You get what I'm saying? Like even though she was in character, she was never out of character. She was always herself, where she was always a God-fearing woman, and you knew that. There was never a question about that, and it even showed in the roles that she played. And that's one thing that I really, really appreciated about her, because I remember as a kid when I would see her in all these movies and all these shows, I'm like, dang, she's everywhere. I see this lady in all these shows, all these movies. But before, I never really knew her name, but I always knew her face. There was never a scandal surrounding this woman, okay? There was always respect and reverence whenever her name was spoken or when she walked into a room. Okay, she broke barriers for generations that came after her. So we thank you, Miss Tyson, for a great representation of a great people, for showing us that we don't always have to go down a beaten path, that we could take the road less traveled. And even though it won't be easy, it'll be worth it and impactful. She lived a full life, and when she was asked how she wants to be remembered, she replied, I've done my best. That's all. She felt fulfilled in her life, and she walked in her purpose. And that should allow us all to accept that she completed her time on this earth in what's called home. Not a life cut short, but a life fulfilled. Rest in peace, Miss Tyson. All right, we're going to hit you with the final topic, and we out of here, guys. So for today's hashtag, today's sicko, it's not going to be like the normal, the person, they face what they did wrong and who they did wrong to. Today, I decided to let you guys know about a couple laws that are being changed in Georgia. So I'll just, give you a quick overview of the article. So Georgia's governor is pushing 2 changes to state law in a further effort to aid human trafficking victims. So in a Monday news conference, Governor Brian Kemp said he was backing a bill that would make it easier for people who had been victims to change their names, and another bill that would allow victims or state officials to file civil lawsuits seeking money damages against traffickers. He said he will also seek a rule change that would require anyone earning or renewing a commercial driver's license to take an anti-trafficking course. So the governor and his wife, they've pushed a series of changes to state law to try to combat the problem. Now, the things they've done before was they opened a shelter for trafficked youth, they created a Bureau of Investigation unit, and they created a statewide hotline for to investigate trafficking crimes. Now, the name change bill will allow victims to change their names without advertising the measure in the local newspaper, as is now required, and let them file their petitions under seals with judges. Similar exceptions already exist for victims of family violence. The lawsuit bill would let a victim sue anyone who knowingly benefited from trafficking for up to 10 years after the action, or up to 10 years after a victim's 18th birthday. The state attorney general would also bring such a lawsuit. Any suits would be frozen until after a criminal case is involved. The measure mirrors an existing federal law. Both bills are supposed to be introduced in the coming days. And Marty Kim says every day they'll continue to be on the lookout for new ways to help make a difference, and that they won't rest until every victim is rescued and every trafficker is behind bars. Now, the sentiment is great, but there's always going to be another victim, and there's always going to be another trafficker until something major unless something major could happen. But the reason that I chose this for today's hashtag, today's sicko, is because it gives you hope to know that they're starting to really take this trafficking thing serious. Because yes, you hear about it and things like that, but I just feel like sometimes, or a lot of times, it wasn't taken as seriously as it needs to be, because and I feel like sometimes it still isn't, but I feel like it's a step towards being taken more seriously, because then you have kids that are missing and they get labeled as wayward or runaway, when really they could be out here being trafficked. So I feel like this is a step in the right direction. So that way, if someone has been trafficked as a child, you know what I'm saying, they could change their name and they can try to build a better life. Because a lot of times these people who have been victimized end up having to live with the stains of the past on them. And sometimes you need a new name, you need a fresh start, because a lot of times when these things happen, their names end up in court documents and things like that, and they end up being revealed. And it's hard to sit here and try to live your life trying to get out of the mindset of being a victim when people continuously re-victimize you and make you relive what it is that you're trying to get past. So I think it's very important that we become aware of these things. And I'm, like I said, I pledge to hashtag Save the Children, and I'm always going to sit here and bring awareness when I can. And like, I just feel like it takes a village. Like, we all have to do our part, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like if I'm helping, to bring awareness, somebody watching this, they might share it with somebody, or they might, even if they don't even share the video, even if you sit here like, oh, did you know, you're educating people on something that you learned, and that might help someone that inadvertently, like, you might be sitting here telling someone, oh, this is why I heard about this, and then now you just gave somebody a resource to go and get themselves some help for something that say they were a victim, or they know a victim, or whatever the case may be. Now they can be able to help that person. So it's not even all about like, clout and hashtags and stuff like that. It's literally about helping people. And if you can help someone in any small way, then I think it's worth it. If you still here or if you just tuned in, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button, smash that bell so you know when I'm coming with the next one. Make sure you like it if you liked it. And I'm always open for discussion in the comments. So if y'all got anything to say about any of the topics of today, especially do men love deeper than women, like, y'all gotta let me know, because I could be wrong. Like I said, I feel like men love logically and women love emotionally. And I feel like sometimes, depending on the two, it could mesh and be a good harmony, but it all depends. So y'all let me know y'all comments, y'all opinions in the comments, and I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for tuning in, guys.